Did you know that, according to a report from the United States National Institute on Aging, more than 63% of men over the age of 60 are quietly facing a decline in their physical vitality? Yet nearly half of them do not realize that the cause may come from the very vegetables they eat every day. What is unfortunate is that many men have replaced meat with vegetables in an effort to eat healthier, but they are unaware that some plant-based foods, which seem harmless, may actually disrupt male hormones, block blood circulation in the lower abdomen, and silently affect the prostate as well as bladder control. If you have ever felt that your body no longer responds the way it used to, even though you still take daily walks and eat plenty of vegetables, then you may be in the same situation as many men I have met. In today's message, you will discover 5 vegetables that should be limited after the age of 60 and simple adjustments you can make to help regain that feeling of strength, clarity, and ease each morning. Before we continue, please take a second to subscribe. If this message feels right for you, type the number 1. If not quite yet, feel free to type 0. I read every single comment to improve the content for people like you. The first vegetable is soy-based, a friend in youth, an enemy of hormones after 60. Richard is a 67-year-old man living in Ohio. He used to be a firefighter, now retired, and spending most of his time with his family and grandchildren. He came to see me with a puzzled expression, not because of pain or a specific illness, but because he felt that his energy was gradually fading. He was tired in the early morning, his sleep was fragmented, and his mood lacked enthusiasm. He said he ate very clean, limited red meat, increased vegetables, drank soy milk every morning, and often had tofu or edamame soup at night. When I heard that, I was not surprised. This is the kind of diet many people over 60 believe is healthy. But after reviewing the nutritional content of his meals with Richard, I realized something important. The amount of soy he consumed each day far exceeded what an older man should take in. What most people do not know is that soy contains a group of plant compounds called phytoestrogens. These are substances that have a structure similar to estrogen, and when they enter the male body, especially after the age of 60, they can affect hormone balance by reducing natural testosterone. After 60, the body no longer has the strong ability to self-regulate hormones as it once did. That means any factor that shifts this balance can trigger prolonged effects. Eating soy every day does not cause immediate symptoms, but over time, it may lead to subtle hormonal imbalances, reduced vitality, poor sleep, mood swings, and difficulty concentrating. After guiding Richard to gradually reduce soy in his meals and replace it with more hormone-friendly sources like eggs, sea fish, leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, and certain healthy vegetable oils, his body began to change. After 3 weeks, he called me with a relieved and cheerful tone, sharing that he felt more alert in the mornings, emotionally steady, and physically lighter, as if an invisible pressure had been lifted. According to Dr. Abraham Morgentaler, a male hormone specialist from Harvard, men over the age of 60 should limit high phytoestrogen plant sources to avoid interfering with their natural sex hormones. Soy is not inherently bad, but for older men, consuming the wrong plant foods, even those considered healthy, may have lasting effects on hormones and vitality without any warning. Are you drinking soy milk every morning without observing how your body reacts? If the answer is yes, this might be the right time for you to start listening again to your body's inner signals. The second vegetable group is canned and pickled vegetables, convenient but quietly damaging blood circulation. James is 72 years old. A retired naval officer living in South Carolina for 40 years, and he never missed a day of work and still keeps his morning walking routine. He even chops wood behind his house as a way to stay physically active. When he came to the clinic, his eyes showed a hint of hesitation. He said his body still wanted to respond the way it used to, but the feeling was no longer complete, as if he knew he was still healthy. Yet his body could not keep up. What caught my attention was a recurring detail in his diet. He regularly ate canned vegetables, pickled greens, and dishes like fermented mustard greens, pickled radish, or string beans soaked in vinegar as part of his dinner. He shared that cooking for one is not easy, so those dishes saved time and were easy to store. But what James and many others did not know is that the amount of salt in canned or pickled vegetables is often far higher than the daily requirement, especially for people over 60. Excess sodium not only raises blood pressure, but also causes inflammation in the endothelium, the inner lining of small blood vessels that nourish the entire lower abdominal area. When this lining becomes inflamed or stiffened, blood flow slows down and no longer circulates smoothly. And when blood does not reach where it is needed, sensation is no longer the same. The challenge is that this condition does not cause sharp pain or clear warning signs. It unfolds gradually, making people believe they are simply aging, when in reality, the body is struggling to maintain proper blood flow. Once James understood this, he agreed to make a change. He switched to lightly boiled vegetables, roasted pumpkin, steamed carrots, and added more bananas and sweet potatoes in the afternoon to provide natural potassium, which helps eliminate excess sodium from the blood. In just under a month, he returned with a brighter expression, stabilized blood pressure, deeper sleep, and most notably, a sharper sense of clarity each morning. He said something I will never forget, that it felt like the blood in his body had finally decided to flow in the right direction. According to the United States National Institute on Aging, inflammation of the endothelium is one of the silent factors contributing to reduced vitality after 60, yet few people recognize it. If you have pickled vegetables or canned greens in your kitchen, today might be the perfect time to start making a change, because convenience can sometimes come at the highest cost to circulation and hormone health in later life. The third vegetable is white potatoes, a traditional food that may quietly disrupt hormonal rhythm in later life. Harold is 69 years old. He was a long-distance truck driver for over 30 years and now lives in a small town in Minnesota. He came to see me with a quiet, somber tone, saying he was not looking to reclaim his youth. He just wanted his body to respond normally again, the way it used to. What struck me was his sincerity. He was not looking for strong medications or quick fixes. He simply wanted to understand what was happening to his body. As we reviewed his daily eating habits together, One detail stood out clearly. White potatoes appeared in all 3 of his meals. Mashed or fried potatoes for breakfast, sandwiches with fries for lunch, and a stew with boiled potatoes for dinner. For Harold, it was not just food. It was part of his childhood and a lifelong habit. But what no one had ever told him is that white potatoes have a very high glycemic index. This means they cause a rapid spike in blood sugar levels, which leads the body to release more insulin to bring those levels back down. If this happens every day for months, the body gradually begins to react more slowly, a condition known as insulin resistance. As a result, blood vessels begin to experience inflammation and stiffening, especially the tiny capillaries linked to the lower abdominal region and hormone-producing glands. Male physiology after the age of 60 is highly sensitive to blood flow and hormonal stability, and any fluctuation in blood sugar can affect the entire system. Harold was surprised to hear this. He said he had never imagined that a potato could affect his vitality, but he did not resist the idea. Together, we agreed to make gradual changes. Instead of white potatoes, he started eating steamed sweet potatoes with a little olive oil and added a sprinkle of cinnamon to retain natural sweetness without raising blood sugar. When he craved mashed dishes, he switched to mashed sweet potatoes with a bit of unsweetened yogurt and roasted garlic. 3 weeks later, he returned to the clinic with a brighter expression and a more flexible walk. He smiled and said, "This morning, I woke up feeling mentally clear, no heaviness in my lower belly, and it felt like my body was finally responding the way I had hoped." According to a report from the United States National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases, maintaining stable blood sugar is a key factor in preserving male hormone function after the age of 60. If you are eating white potatoes regularly because they are cheap and easy to prepare, try switching to sweet potatoes for just 1 week. Sometimes one small change is enough to create a positive reaction you never expected. The 4th vegetable is fried eggplant. Soaks up oil like a sponge and silently triggers inflammation. Leonard is a 74-year-old retired music teacher living in New Jersey with his wife of nearly 50 years. When he came to see me, he did not bring any medical records or lab results. He simply said he wanted a full checkup because his body no longer seemed to keep up the way it used to. As we talked, I could see he was a thoughtful man who loved music, lived with balance, and followed a Mediterranean-style diet. But when I asked about his favorite dish, he smiled and said that nothing was better than fried eggplant with cheese and homemade tomato sauce made by his wife. For Leonard, this was not just a meal. It was tied to many happy memories and had become a weekly staple in their home. What he did not realize was that cooking eggplant by deep frying it in vegetable oil was quietly causing inflammation in his blood vessels and affecting his hormone levels. Eggplant itself is a healthy vegetable. It is low in calories and contains antioxidants. However, when fried, eggplant behaves like a sponge, absorbing large amounts of oil, especially oils high in omega-6, fatty acids such as canola or common vegetable oil. When too much of this oil enters the body, it can trigger a low-grade chronic inflammatory state. This does not cause immediate pain, but it silently interferes with the production of nitric oxide, a compound essential for relaxing blood vessels and ensuring steady circulation. When blood flow weakens, the hormone-producing glands in the lower abdomen also begin to lose function. I did not ask him to give up eggplant entirely. I simply suggested a new way to prepare it. Instead of frying, he could roast the eggplant with a little olive oil, add roasted garlic, fresh basil, and cherry tomatoes. A few weeks later, Leonard returned with a gentle smile. He said he felt more mentally alert, no longer experienced heaviness in his lower belly, and his mornings felt much more pleasant. He joked that he still got to eat his favorite dish, just cooked in a new way. According to research published in the Journal of Urology, low-grade chronic inflammation is closely linked to hormonal disruption in older adults and to reduced blood flow in the male urinary system. If you often eat fried eggplant, consider switching to roasted or steamed versions. Because sometimes the method of cooking is the very thing that can either build or break your vitality after 60. The fifth vegetable is corn and corn-based products, a sweet disguise that promotes the conversion of testosterone into estrogen. Thomas is 66 years old, a retired school principal living in a quiet rural area of Iowa. He came to see me not because of any specific illness, but simply because he felt his body was no longer as vibrant as it used to be. He said that he still had the will to live and the drive to enjoy life, but his body responded more slowly. His mood dropped easily, and he often woke up feeling heavy and low on energy. As we reviewed his diet together, what stood out to me was that corn and corn-based products were present in nearly every meal. Boiled corn at dinner, tortillas at lunch, and occasionally popcorn or corn cakes as snacks. For him, these were foods tied to family memories, familiar and convenient. What Thomas did not know is that most corn today has been genetically modified to increase sweetness and yield, making it a food with a high glycemic index. Similar to white bread. When consumed, it causes a rapid spike in blood sugar, which forces insulin to work harder to maintain balance. If this happens daily, it leads to insulin resistance, which in turn creates low-grade chronic inflammation, damages blood vessels, and disrupts the signaling pathways of hormone-producing glands in the lower abdomen. Not only that, corn also contributes to belly fat formation, especially when consumed in snack form or as corn syrup. In men over 60, abdominal fat can convert testosterone into estrogen, leading to a gradual decline in male hormones without any obvious cause. Once Thomas understood this mechanism, he did not hesitate. He was ready to make a change. We replaced corn-based foods with quinoa, added lentils, and included more fiber-rich greens. After nearly a month, he reported feeling lighter in his stomach, more emotionally balanced, and no longer fatigued upon waking. According to the United States National Institutes of Health, the accumulation of belly fat is a biological factor that contributes to weakened male hormones after the age of 60. If you are regularly eating corn or corn-based foods, consider making a change. After 60, your body does not need to avoid everything, but it does need more selective choices in daily nutrition to support proper hormonal and circulatory function. After going through each of these stories, you may have begun to realize that not all vegetables are good, and not every plant-based food is suitable for the body after the age of 60. 5 familiar types of vegetables carry hidden risks to male vitality. These include soy and soy-based dishes, canned and pickled vegetables, white potatoes, deep fried eggplant, and corn, along with corn-derived products. These vegetables do not cause you harm right away, but when consumed repeatedly over time, they may gradually disrupt hormone balance, trigger silent inflammation in the blood vessels, and slowly diminish your vitality without you even realizing it. What is concerning is that most men after 60 continue to eat out of habit, believing that vegetables are always healthy and the more they eat, the better. But the body at this stage has completely changed the way it handles hormones and responds to food. This is not the time to eliminate all familiar dishes. It is the time to reconsider which ones should continue and which ones need to stop. Begin by paying close attention to how your body responds after each meal. The aging body is sensitive, and just one mismatched food, when repeated daily, can quietly shift the natural rhythm of vitality that you are trying so hard to preserve. After learning which vegetables to limit, the next important step is to choose the right foods that naturally support circulation and hormonal balance. After the age of 60, the body needs vegetables that are easy to digest, low in inflammation triggers, rich in antioxidants, and that gently promote blood vessel relaxation. Vegetables that should appear regularly in your meals include spinach, arugula, kale, Malabar spinach, amaranth greens, and lightly steamed broccoli. These vegetables contain natural nitrates, which help the body produce nitric oxide, a compound that plays a key role in keeping blood vessels soft and circulation steady. In addition, pumpkin, carrots, and bell peppers are rich in vitamins A, C, and E, which help protect hormone-producing glands from oxidative stress. Try pairing these vegetables with extra virgin olive oil, a handful of pumpkin seeds, or hype avocado. These healthy fats help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins and support the natural production of hormones. If you maintain these foods consistently for just 1 month, your body will begin to show noticeable improvements in vitality, mental clarity, and sleep quality without needing any pills at all. After everything you have just gone through, you may have realized that the strength of aging does not lie in doing great things, but in the fact that you still have the power to choose how you live each day. A plate of vegetables that seems harmless, if eaten the wrong way and repeated for years, can silently slow down circulation, trigger inflammation in the blood vessels, and shift hormone balance in ways you never expected. But the good news is, you do not need to give up all your favorite foods. You just need to choose them more mindfully. Instead of tofu every night, you might switch to boiled greens with steamed fish. Instead of fried potatoes, try roasted sweet potatoes with cinnamon and a little olive oil. Instead of pickled vegetables and canned greens for convenience, to start steaming fresh vegetables with a pinch of sea salt and sesame oil. Just one small change, like choosing the right vegetables for your dinner, can help stabilize hormones, ease circulation, and support deeper sleep without any medication. Male vitality after 60 does not disappear. It simply needs to be cared for in a more gentle, patient way. If you found today's message helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insights on eating habits, lifestyle, and natural ways to restore your energy right from home. Which vegetable from today's list do you eat most often? Share your story in the comments so I and others can listen and learn. You are not alone in the journey to protect your health after 60. Every story you share has value. Your body is still listening. And if you begin today, there is still time to bring back the strength that once felt familiar.